Ta-da. Hello and welcome to Friday's Inspiration. TGIF here. There we go. Oh, so welcome. I'm broadcasting from Holland, the Netherlands, the land of cheese and windmills. It's very cold and windy here, but it's much more friendly than Paris. I'll say that. So, we are here today talking about why light workers are being attacked so much. Have you noticed that yourself? Are you personally experiencing that? I noticed even myself recently had a bit of an attack, and I had the worst stomach issues. I won't get into details, but it was horrible. And I discovered I had 40 implants in my stomach. OMG, it was not fun. So it took me a few days to figure it out. But so even I have been experiencing things as well. I have tools to discover what it is and where it is. And so that's much more helpful for me. But for some of you, you may not know what the heck is going on. So I'm curious where we have callers calling in from today while we are getting situated and settled here. We always have London, we're almost in London. We have New York, we have Murrieta, California, and the USA somewhere. Joyce is somewhere in the USA. Selma, New York City. And we have June from Ontario, Canada. We have India in the house, and so many more who are not speaking up, which is just fine. We're so grateful to have you here. In fact, this is a non-monetized platform, meaning you won't find any commercials in any of the replays. So it's really helpful if you can share this with your friends and family and people you know or think could benefit from this. It's spread the love and spread the word. So we really appreciate if you share. And we have someone else from Holland. Bart's from Holland. Well, welcome. We're probably in your backyard and you don't even know it. Um, Jerry's in LA, great. Wisconsin, Germany, and Milwaukee, and Sonoma, of course, we have Sonoma. All right. So I'm having a great time traveling and working while I'm traveling, and it's always so fun to be able to live the life of your dreams. And still being able to help people who resonate with the work that I do. So every week we come here to raise your vibration, raise your frequency. I've been in the healing arts for more than 40 years. And so here we are measuring vibrational frequencies and evaluating why they're low. And today it's specifically focused on why light workers are being attacked, why we're being so targeted. You may have noticed that, um, you know, maybe more symptoms or issues than normal. And there's a very important reason for this. Actually, there's three that I want to just share with you today. So I have been privileged to be on some spiritual missions. And of course, these are not the only ones going on the planet. There are many people behind the scenes doing important spiritual work, clearing these dark cabal energies. And so I recently had the privilege of being with a group of about 44 who went through the temples in Egypt, and we created, I won't get into the details, but we created all new frequencies coming from those temples and dismantling much of the old cabal structures, those etheric structures. And then we've also done the same thing in Rome. There's about 4 different places that we went to: the Vatican, the Colosseum, St. Paul's Cathedral, Sistine Chapel, the Roman Forum. And so, as a result of clearing all of the antimatter from all of these places, all these dark energies, antimatter meaning basically not light, wherever there's not light. And so these dark places, these dark energies have been cleared out. And I'm getting that about 40, not 40%, it was 15, about 15% of this antimatter that we cleared actually transformed into light energy. So some of it is being transformed, but a lot of the other parts of it are just looking for places to land and new hosts. It's like an infested building that's full of rats, and you topple that thing, and all those rats are going to have to find a place to go, the ones that survive, right? And so that's what's happening. So you may experience some of these entities in your space a little bit more than usual. I've noticed a lot of clients coming to me with issues, and even children having nightmares, and a lot of physical problems, and another thing that I've noticed, this was the part that's kind of I'll say it kind of pisses me off. It kind of makes me mad, but at the same time, you have to realize people are on their path. Everybody's on their path. But I did notice that there was this one event that I saw online, and this is a new um, place. I'll just call it a place. It's a new structure where a lot of conferences are going to be held, and it's an attraction. It's a magnet for light workers and um, big hitters that are in the communities of the light workers. And I was watching their advertisement for this new place, and they talked a lot about, being in community, and that it's like family. It's like coming home, being in these live events. And I started noticing something, and I looked especially close because there was one person on the agenda that I had personally experienced in the past. This, and so I'm gonna come back. This person, um, it was a woman, and she's has many books, and she's very well known in the communities of the light workers. This was also another place where there were a lot of important people that were speaking. And she got on stage, and she says, "I'm going to envelop all of you in my aura," and she cast her aura out through the whole auditorium. And I immediately started to feel a little off, and I'm all, wow, she didn't give, she didn't get my permission to do that. And so the next thing I know, somebody has fainted. Somebody else, just in the row very adjacent to me, is having a panic attack. They're calling the paramedics, and she acted like it was no big deal and just like carried on with the show. And my friend and I, we both started to get a headache, and we finally decided to leave. This one, and so there is an infiltration of these darker entities that have infiltrated into the light communities, and this is why we need to be not afraid, but especially cautious and aware. So this woman is pretending to be on the light. She's got books out. And anybody who wasn't very aware may not even know. And most of the people in that auditorium had no idea what was going on. But she only has actually, okay, she has two rings, and I'm going to tell you why this is important. The lowest amount of rings, creative rings above your head that people will have is three. The first time I saw two creative rings was when I just left Egypt, and I was at an airport in the Dubai, or one of those areas around there. And I noticed it was only men who were in these like white robe, and then there was a sash that went across like this, and they were all dressed like that, and slippers. And it's cold out, and that's all they had on. And I'm always looking, I'm always noticing and observing. And I noticed that every single one of them only had 2 creative rings. Now they were on their way to Mecca to circle that black cube, which is basically the Cabal. And so they're in service to the Cabal. They have 2 rings, which means their crown has been compressed, as they're under the control of the Cabal. And so I noticed, now I'm linking all this together. So this woman only has 2 rings. So then I started noticing on this advertisement for this new place where people are going to be coming to meet is almost all of the people who had gone to this event or an event and were saying how wonderful and great it was, they all had 2 rings. Maybe a couple had 3 rings. They also were under between 50 to 100 spells. In this advertisement, they also showed them walking through a labyrinth. In this labyrinth is where the spell gets cast and where they start to become under the control of this whole arena. And this place is uh, I just there's so many parts of this. I don't know where to go with it. Well, I think you get the idea that that's enough for me to talk about that. But at any rate, so there are a lot of ways that these dark entities, this cabal structure, is infiltrating into places. I even noticed it at the LA um, conference, the Whole Life Expo, I think it's called, or the New Conscious Expo, or something like that. Whatever it is, a lot. So what these darker energies do, what this cabal does, is they infiltrate so that you have some big hitters, clear, high vibrational light workers, healers, etc., mixed in with other people that have 2 rings that are compressed, that their hearts are very closed and they're not in their bodies. And so you have this mix of people. And if you're not aware, when you go to events like this, it's very easy to come under their spell. This happened even to me many years ago. Wasn't that long ago. I was in um, I was in England and I went to, it wasn't Stonehenge. There was another one that's near there. I can't remember the name of it right now. If someone knows, you can refresh my memory. Um, at any rate, went there with another friend, and there was a man who was dressed as a woman. So maybe it was part of I don't know. It was obvious, so it wasn't like he was trying to actually be a woman, and it wasn't doing a good job. It was obvious that he was a man being a woman who was, and the reason I'm even saying that is because that was the part that was to distract you so that you wouldn't look further as to why, when you first approached this person, that that you noticed that there was something off. And so this costume was the thing that was going to distract you to think that that's the thing that was off. Well, he was stationed, or she was stationed at this kind of like the visitor center where we were going to visit this stone structure. And anyway, so we went there, and he had this staff that, and so it was very engaging person, very friendly, and started to engage us, and then wanted us to come outside and continue the conversation, and then wanted to know if we wanted to hold the staff and feel that, and he was just knew how to kind of pull you in. Well, the long and the short of it was we ended up having a conversation for probably a good 45 minutes where we both took turns holding the staff and da, da, da. And what I discovered later was that that staff had connected us to, one, a mothership, and two, this dark energy that just rooted way down into the earth. And it took me a good 3 or 4 days to unravel all the crap that had been infiltrated. He kept plugging into all of my chakras, and so this is a place where a lot of people go because it's a spiritual place. It is where you know, people go there, and they want to connect to the sacredness of these stone circles. And so that's a perfect place for someone of the cabal to station themselves. And I can't even remember now the number of people that he attracted into his net. And they succumb to this spell, and so it's everywhere. And so it's not like it's new, but I would say it is absolutely increasing as far as the numbers that they are trying to seduce and trick. And yeah, so that you don't have any idea that you're under spell. And then before you know it, you get enough of these spells going and curses and fear entities and all these thoughts that aren't yours. And uh, people are become suicidal, and it's crazy stuff going on out there. But that is one reason that there this attack is on the rise. Is because one, the dark energies are being cleared out and they need a place to go. And so that's the number one reason. Number two, number two reason is they need fuel. They need fuel. And so the more of their fuel sources that are being cut off as these underground tunnels are cleared, and all of these, so much of the darkness that's being cleared, they need fuel. And what do they feed on? They feed on the dark energies. They feed on your fear, your anger, your worry, your anxiety. And so, if they can put you under these spells and put all this garbage in your head, and you're constantly worried, and you have no grounding cord now because you're in fear, and there's no place for the energy to go, you just become a mess. And they love that. That's their fuel. So, that's the second big reason. And then the third reason that I wanted to talk about is that um, we are evolving now to a point where, this used to be all about a battle. This used to be about us and them, and the dark and the light, and winning this battle. And we're starting to move into a new space that is less about a battle and more about using these dark energies to, one, realize that we are them and they are us. We are all one. They are an aspect of pure source energy. And so, instead of even, I've noticed I'm starting to change a lot of my language about clearing this stuff and moving more into integrating, so that we transmute these energies. And it's less about us and them, and more about this is an aspect of us that we need to integrate and learn how to love the light and the dark. We need to be able to navigate both light and dark energies. And so this is why, you talk a lot about shadow work and going deeply inward. In fact, next week, I'm going on my own personal retreat, one of two this month. And to be able to go into those deeper, darker shadows. Because as we're expanding out into these outer places where we're finding more energies, but none of this really matters as much as going inward. We're going to expand out to the degree that we go inward. And so it's felt like I need to go a little deeper inward now. And so fortunately, I found a mentor that I believe could take me to some deep and dark places. And I still have that some of that dark mother wound that I want to work on. I've cleared about 50% of that. And so I'm also a work in progress. I don't have everything figured out. And so, but I am, for some of you, light years and far ahead of some of you, and others, I'm just far enough ahead of you that I can lead you and show you the way. It's kind of like being on top of the mountain. That doesn't make me better than any of you. It's just that I have a different perspective. I have a different view. I have more senses that are available that can show people maybe what you're not able to see. And so that doesn't make me better. It just means I have just more finely tuned instrument, and so I'm teaching you how to do the same. And it's kind of like when we have been walking barefoot and we step on glass, and now we have shards of glass in our feet. A great remedy for that would be shoes, right? But you don't put the shoes on until you extricate the shards of glass in your feet. So that's what we're kind of doing when we come here, is that we have to take out all the debris first before we can get into that space where we're just in a protection bubble. A lot of people think, well, just put your shields up and those protection things, and say these affirmations and send the light away, and or the darkness away, or whatever. I've heard these people say these different affirmations, and like they don't even have a grounding cord. So it's really important to be able to be um, very good at mastering your own energy, and that's why we're also going to be doing in the upcoming months. Maybe as soon as and maybe as soon as April, where I've had enough people requesting to learn how to do what I do, that we're going to be doing potentially a 6 week course teach you to teach you how to do what I do. So, um, yes, there is a private mentoring program that's also available, but some people like doing things in groups, and it's for some, it's also more cost effective. And anyway, so I'm just putting some information out there ahead of time so you can be on the lookout for that. And so yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. So we're no longer fighting this dark cabal. We're moving into this phase of integrating, and that's why when we did the work that we did in Rome, this it's not a battle. It's not a spiritual battle where we're out there with our spiritual swords and bombs, and we had love depots, which are these love expanders. We planted them everywhere. And I'm not going to get into all the details of how it worked, but love is really how to detonate these energies now and integrate. So putting all of that out there. So let me hear what you guys have to say. Abberry, that's what it was. Yes, thank you for that. Mecca is a holy place. Yes, exactly. It is. These uh, priests, I guess that's what they are, or monks. They go there to worship around this black box. They go in circles around it, and the black box has basically been coated with all these spells, just like the Vatican and all of these obelisks that broadcast a frequency. Uh, You guys have absolutely no idea. I had no idea of the complexity of the structures that have been put in place for humanity to be controlled with these spells and curses and tripwires in case you clear this, and the black pope was taken out, but then he also had some back doors to try and restore himself. And I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely, you can't even believe or even begin to imagine the depths and degrees that have gone into the structure that has been dismantled and is being continuing to be dismantled, because there's more to go. All right. So what else do we have? Avberry, yes, that's correct. And Unfortunately, this makes sense. Yes, it is. Thank you, Roma. I'm deeply rooted. I am. I've been working at it a long time. All right. Any other comments? You guys have any other questions about this? We're going to do a nice clearing here. Many years, they thought that many thousands of years, yes, that they've been creating this structure and controlling humanity and for eons. Yeah, tens of thousands of years. At any rate, um, let's see, we have someone who's a little late to the chat. Did you say you have a masterclass coming up? Yes, we do not have the dates yet, but I'm just putting it out there to start putting it into action, putting the ball into action. So it'll probably be somewhere around April. After our next round of 18 days, I think would be a good time to start. And so, by the way, since I'm mentioning this, we're just finishing up our 18-day program, and I tell you, we've had so much fun. It's been probably one of my favorite ones so far, and a lot of great results. It's been focused on business and money and prosperity and abundance, and so many great results that are happening and breakthroughs, and it's just been so fun, and we've been having a great time. So the next round, we do that every other month, is going to be in March, starting March 10th, which is a Monday. It'll be right after my second retreat, and it'll go to April 4th, 4/4. So that's a nice container for fours. The fours are a great container to hold this structure in. And we'll be passing through the spring equinox. So this particular 18 days is going to be all about launching your rockets of desire. So in spring, that's what happens. You know, we've been kind of locked down and contained and kind of going slow through winter. And then we come to spring and we're ready to rock, right? We're ready to launch our rockets. And you want that rocket to launch in the right direction. You don't want it just to go all willy-nilly, right? So we are going to pay some special focus on planting some really great seeds, clearing all the garbage like we always do, so you can align and get lined up. So when your rocket launches, it's going to land and go in the direction you want it to go. So it has some really good results. Good results. 10th of March until 4th of April. Yes, that's correct. And so what's the difference in the 18-day between the foundational and the advanced? So the foundational group, they only meet in the morning, and we go through the basic structures. We tend to go a little bit slower in that group, and more explaining, and it's a little bit slower paced. The evening group is the advanced group. So the advanced does the morning and evening. And in the evening, we go deeper. We sometimes get personal with getting questions answered, personal questions answered, and going into deeper, more advanced protocols and methodologies. So that is the difference between those two. So thank you for asking. Yes, it is twice a day. So thank you for Roma for posting that. So we've got some great things coming up. And for those of you who want to stay informed about what we do, I know many of you are listening to this on YouTube. And so you don't get to interact like we do on Facebook. So if you would like to be on our mailing list, where we send out a weekly newsletter, which has these the latest of what we're up to, and also these what we're doing here, the live broadcast. So you can sign up for anything that's free and get on the mailing list. And so this is the most common thing that people will sign up for, is the free 20-minute MediClearing process, which we do here every week, but you need to practice it in between. And so this is a great way to get on the mailing list and get this free 20-minute guided meditation. So when you sign up for that, be sure to check the box that says, um, yes, I want the emails. We only do that once a week, generally. And so then you can stay informed too, like when we're going to have this next masterclass, and when the next 18-day program is, et cetera, et cetera. All right, are we ready for today's clearing? We're gonna do some clearing around these energies that where we might feel under attack. So after I came back from Egypt, it was like all the fear entities and discarnate beings and um, the control beings, they seem to have disappeared. And then it was just down to the Draco, and sometimes that watcher energy would show up. But it seems like the control beings are starting to show up again. But some of us actually call in these dark energies as part of our path of learning, and some of us who do like to do it, maybe they don't like to do it, but they tend to do it the hard way, or if they've got a lot of martyr energy, um, that will be another reason why these dark energies maybe tend to be attracted to you. You tend to call in those lessons. So, at any rate, let's go ahead and do our clearing for today. We're going to do the process of running our energy. It's outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon. And it's got all the illustrations, etc. in there. And yes, I will be working on my book soon. I'm getting more inspired. All right, we're going to get started now. So let's put down our grounding cord from the base of our spine, a big fat pipe that goes all the way to the center of the earth. So you are nice and grounded. Let's put some roots down from the bottoms of our feet that go deep into the planet. And then as it goes down deep into the earth, it's going to wrap around the entire planet, intermingling with this intelligent communication layer of our root system, the mycelium, the fungus, and maybe go down as far as a redwood tree. That's pretty darn deep. And as we're connecting to this root system, we're going to start sucking up the energy of abundance. That's what the earth is, abundant, feminine. Start bringing that energy up through the feet, the ankles, the calves, your knees, up through the thigh. And then when it gets to the top of the thigh, it's going to go down that grounding cord. There we go. And then we have that worry circle that goes around the root chakra. Ideally, you wouldn't have one. Today, it's out to the third layer. So we can start pulling in that circle. And we're also going to use a black flame in this circle because there are some control beings that are interfering with your ability to ground effectively. Great. So we're just going to drop all that energy down the grounding cord. Okay, great. And then the fourth and final part, well, there's actually one more part after this. It's not in my book. That's why you come here every week to stay up to date. So we're going to ground our hearts, which it's open 100%, but it's not grounded. So we're going to go to the root chakra, out to that third layer to ground the hearts. So there's an energy here that has a lot of fear in it. And we're going to use a black flame in this circle to transmute the control beings that are controlling this energy, making us afraid to feel safe to ground our hearts. So we're just dropping all that down the grounding. Excellent. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's see there. Now the heart is grounded. Did you notice that shift? Excellent. And then the final piece to getting ultra grounded is to ground for women, grounding the ovaries. So the ovaries right now very congested. Sometimes people, women, tend to heal others by absorbing energies in the ovaries. They're like sponges. So you're going to draw a line of energy from both of the ovaries down into the grounding cord so it has a place to release to. There we go. And then the men are going to draw that Y lines from the prostate and the testicles into the grounding cord. You would think it's so close right there that it would be grounded, but that's not the case. Okay, there we go. So now we're ultra, ultra grounded. Next, we're going to bring our attention far above our heads, above the rings that are stacked above your head, even if you don't know how many there are. And we're going to start bringing pure source down through those creative rings. And pure source is going to start calibrating your dreams and your desires so that they're in your highest and best interests. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Actually, it's stopping at the heart, though. Stopping at the fourth chakra, out to that third layer. And that would sort of diminish the power in your heart. So the power to access your infinite intelligence, the power to self-generate love. And let's see, there's a control being, actually 5 of them. So let's use a big black flame so we transmute these energies. Excellent. Okay, so now we're bringing pure source down through the central core, through the heart, solar plexus, where it's stopping again, out to that third layer. Now, this energy could make you feel tired and make it hard to get stuff done, like you have to push and force to make things happen. There's some more control beings in here. Let's use a black flame. So these are all the energies, like all the shards of glass that we're taking out of your feet before we put on any kind of protection. That's kind of, it's not that it's useless, but you have to take the stuff out before you put some protection on. Okay, so we are bringing pure source down through the solar plexus into the second chakra, out to that third layer. So there's a lot of fear in here. So maybe you're afraid of the dark. You're afraid of these dark energies. There's a control being in here. So that fear feeds these guys. So that's why we want to make sure that we are not holding fear. We're not holding anger. We're not worried. We're not worried about any of this stuff. It's all taken care of. It's all taking care of itself. And the more that we focus on the life that we desire, where we want humanity to be and grow, that's the direction our consciousness, we're going to make that contribution to the consciousness that will help steer and drive everything. Okay, great. This also is going to affect your creative energy in your second chakra. Whew. Okay, good. Okay, let's see if we are vertical. There we go. Great. Take a deep breath into that vertical alignment, connected way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Excellent. Now we're going to mix these two energies and we're going to bring a 50-50 mixture up the front, real close to the spine. So it's coming up through that second chakra into the solar plexus where it's stopping, out to the third layer. More control beings, about 5 of them. So, yes, they want you frustrated and stuck and powerless and pushed down. So, we're going to, this black flame is transforms and dissolves this energy. It's like goo gone. I don't know why that came to mind. Okay. Okay, so we're bringing pure this 50-50 mixture up through the solar plexus and the heart. Okay, it's stopping at the heart, out to that third layer. Um, it's the watcher energy. So let's use a rainbow flame in the heart, front of the heart mostly. And we're going to transmute and dissolve this energy that's interfering with our ability to really self generate that love and access all of our inner knowing in the heart. A lot of you that are having a hard time being able to feel your intuition, that deep inner knowing, it's because there's a lot of debris in that heart chakra. You can't quite access that knowing. Okay, good. So let's bring it up to the heart, throat, 6, crown, rings, aura. Let's pay special attention to the third layer and especially around the solar plexus. So that's more effort, pushing, chasing, forcing. We want to be like magnets where things come to us. We don't have to chase anything. Okay, good. 3. We're going to jump out the 25th layer, starting at the bottom. This is where the fear entities hang out. So we're going to use a black flame to transmute this energy. Okay, 25. And then the 50th layer, same thing. This is the watcher energy. If you want to use a rainbow flame, you could do that. Lifting that up and out. And then the 100th layer is the Draco energy. Use the black flame, or you can just lift it up and out. Okay, great. Now the aura is clear. Let's clear our circle of reciprocity starting at the heart, bringing that energy out that right arm, putting the fingertips together, allowing yourself to receive up that left arm, that left receiving arm all the way. There you go, through the circle, through the throat, through the 6th chakra, through the crown, through the rings. And now there is a part 2 for our circle of reciprocity that Spirit is directing. That we start at the heart, and so it's after we know how to fill ourselves up, is that we go back to the heart energy and we start amplifying that heart love energy. And then we bring it out both arms and we send it to someone who needs some help, some support, some hug. Give them a big hug. And it could be a group of people or maybe some event that happened and people need some support. And then allow yourself to receive back up both arms. Okay. And then it comes into your heart, circulating in your heart and circulating through your entire toroidal energy field. There we go. Whew. Does that feel better? Okay, great. Let's check a few things and see if there's any other places where this darkness is residing. So we can take off these shards of glass and there is also a code that I've been given while we were in, or it was actually after Rome, the quarantine code. And so I'll be transmitting that after we finish clearing everything, and then we'll quarantine ourselves with this code. So, oh, yes. Okay. So we're going to check for fear entities, if there's any fear entities left. Yes, there's about 3 in the root chakra out to that 3rd layer. So they want to keep us in that unstable energy so we don't feel safe in our bodies, in our getting grounded. Let's use a black flame. Great. Lynn's feeling much better. Anybody else feeling better? I was feeling movement and pressure in my energy the past few days. Oops, hang on there. And Lynn is feeling much better as well. So good to hear. Let's hear how else of you are feeling as we continue to check. So fear entities are 0 control beings. It's about 20 in the root chakra. This is their favorite place to hang out. If you feel like crap, just use a black flame in your root. It'll probably clear most of your worries. And have an intention of clearing fear entities, control beings, could be discarnate beings, could be cords, just name them off. And you don't have to know all the details if you're not able to discern these things. So, yeah, use a black flame. We'll get those control beings. And Stephen is pulsing at his 3rd eye. And I still have a big pain in my forehead. Okay, so let's see what else is going on there. We'll find it. Okay, there's still some control beings at the root. I'm going to use that black flame. Kuya amaye na tukukumoya. Amkaye tia na papaye no pupukuye amaye. Okay, no more control beings. Let's check for discarnate beings. It's about 5, 6 chakra. So that might be it, Stephen. Let's use a black flame, it says, right behind our forehead in the middle of our head. And we'll transmute these discarnate beings. In the field that you work in, I would assume there would be dead people here and there that might climb in. Okay, 7, 6, 5. Okay, discarnate beings are out, and Jalpa says her heart feels slightly anxious. Okay, so we're going to keep looking for. We still got more things to look for. Discarnate beings, Fiorenti's. The Watcher, yes. Also in the 6th chakra, use a rainbow flame. And in the root chakra, we're going to use that. And then Watchers. Okay, the Watchers are out. And then Draco energy, yes. Right at the crown. Let's use a black flame. Goes all the way out to that 50th layer. That's a lot of ownership on our crown. So let's use a big black flame in that crown. Goyamaye na tupu goyamaye. Ia na tupu moya. Kia kea na tipu konyaye ya ankea. Draco, 7, 6, And then at the root, there's some more Draco energy. We're going to use a black flame, transmute all of that. Moya makia na tupuye mamaye. Ama kumu o ya baya kana akia na titia amaye. Okay, good. So the Draco's out. Okay, we have someone here. It says from Supernatural. It says, I followed you for ages and this stuff really works. Thank you. Yes, you're so welcome. And here's someone got interested in energy healing when on an interview, or when I was on an interview. Okay, great. Thanks for joining us, Joyce. We're here every Friday. And Supernatural says she always feels so much better. It's true, right? Stuff does work. So, I love it. All right, let's see what else we have. Spells. Let's see if there's any spells. Yes, there's like around 50 of them. So let's go to the sixth chakra. This is where they like to put these spells and affect how we think. And so when they've got you under their spell, you kind of just go along like kind of zombie-like those people in the labyrinth. Use a black flame in that sixth chakra. It's interesting that it goes out to that fifth layer. So that's going to affect what you think you can say, or it's going to affect what you can say. So maybe some censorship here with the spells. Yeah. Seven, six. Also in the heart, there's some more spells. Use a black flame there. Mm-hmm. Okay. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then in the root, more spells. Use a black flame. All right. Whew. Okay, good. Let's see, spells 0. Curses. It's about 5. In the root, use a black flame. Goes out to the third layer because it doesn't want us to feel safe stepping into our power. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Jalpa, does that feel better now? Are you feeling anxious in the heart still? Looks like it feels pretty good there. And here's Ina, who's also had a bad feeling in her heart. Let us know if it's feeling better after all this work. Let's see. Get the feelings of events and political issues such as women's rights, assault rifles, death of persons at the hands of police. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you're tapping into the collective field. Jalpa, yes, it's open. Good. Feeling lighter. That's good to hear. Mm-hmm. Lightened up. Excellent. And yeah, so that's what's really important as far as, being attacked. And we'll do these quarantine codes in a minute here. The way that you can't necessarily prevent it entirely. I think that, well, I'll say that for myself, I'm not there yet as far as being entirely unattackable, but it's definitely much less than it ever used to be because I don't let them hang around long. I find out, where they are, almost immediately. And so for myself, instead of running my energy so as much, because I've done this, for so many years, that I'm just always in a state of checking things. If something feels off, then it's like, what is that? And then I'll find out what it is. So I don't have to sit down and run my energy. But for those of you who are new to this process, you definitely need to become more aware of your energy field and be able to clear it. And so I'm just at the stage where I'm just always keeping it clear. And so this process is really important to do as a practice. So if you don't have that 20-minute meditation yet, be sure to get on the mailing list and um, get that free 20-minute meditation. And we are going to call in these quarantine codes from Christoph now. Um, Good to see you, Kimberly. Implants, yes, yes. I had there were like 40 implants that were in my stomach this one day. I finally had to figure out what it was. Uh, because at first I thought, when you're traveling, sometimes, things go a little awry and with the digestion and um but I had already been here had been in Holland or Amsterdam for a while, so it wasn't like, oh, and the water here is really good. So it's at any rate, I figured it out. I cleared it. I was fine that night. So it's all good. But yes, we're all susceptible to this stuff. So the three in review, the reasons we're being attacked is one, these dark energies are being cleared in mass, and so they need a place to go. So that's one reason. And then the second reason is they need something to feed on, right? So they work on us and make us angry and fearful, and then they've got some food because those are the energies they feed on. And then the third reason is that it's part of our evolutionary path that we sometimes call in these energies so that we can start to embrace the darker aspects of ourselves. And this is all part of this evolution that we're on, that it's not so much a battle of us and them and this dichotomy, that it's more about integrating. So that's kind of a new paradigm that we're stepping into instead of the battle of the darkness, that we're really integrating these darker aspects because we're all part of the same soup. And so we have to be able to embrace the dark and the light. All right, so let's go ahead and call in these quarantine codes. And this is actually the first time I've used these. So, I mean, for anybody else. So, we'll just call these quarantine codes in as though it's a protection for our energy field. Now that it's cleared, now that we've taken all the shards of glass on, we could put the shoe on. So, yeah, let's start at the top of our aura. And if you'd like to put a color to it, you can. That electric blue is a nice protective color, the same one that they use for Michael, the archangel. And it's not like you have to call in these energies like Michael. He's actually an aspect of us. So we're activating parts of us that have just become dormant. So we're activating this quarantine code so we can protect ourselves. And I guess it's like a protection shield of kinds of some sort. Okay, I'm getting that it's been activated 100%. So that's a multiple parts of staying protected. We clear the shards of glass out first, and then we put the protection on. So hopefully that's been helpful to all of you. And what else do we have? Patricia, can mom put an implant in the third chakra? Always made me feel powerless. As I grew up, I felt this energy straight at my stomach. It's not so much that she's putting an implant. Implants are used more by these darker energies, the darker forces, the 1%, the fear entities, the Dracos, etc. Your mom is just more likely cording to you. As a matter of fact, she's corded to your solar plexus right now. So just use a black flame and just dissolve that attachment, and you'll be good. All right, my friends. So good to see all of you here. Next week, I will still be in the Netherlands. And before you know it, I'm going to be in, uh, where are we going? Morocco. There we go. We're going to Morocco. And you're welcome, Stephen. I'm glad you're feeling much better. That headache is gone, or the pulsing in your third eye. That's good. Um, yeah, so pay attention to what's coming up down the pike. We've got the next 18 days coming up in March, March 10th through the April 4th. And then in April, we'll be starting I don't have all the details yet, but a new masterclass. So you can learn how to do this stuff. People have been hounding me forever for that. And we're just going to make it happen. Okay. All right. What is this? Want to know? Yes, and for those of you who want to know how high your vibes are, there's that as well. We don't want to throw too much at you. We threw the whole kitchen sink at you today. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next Friday for more. We don't know what we'll be delivering, but it's always amazing. Sending so much love to all of you. It's been a blast tonight. All right. Namaste.